movie.
And she has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it's the dude with...
No. It gets worse for boyfriend. You wait. So it is not the unibrow jock Beta.
Yeah.
It is another awful... If you're thinking about like stereotypes in a movie, you have the nerds and then you have the jock character, who's the other kind of villain type character, the preppy, right? Mm-hmm. Her boyfriend is the preppy, and wait till you fucking see him. He is
gross.
The preppiest.
Oh, the collar, the...
Yeah,
No,
you just wait till you see him.
Hate
You
it.
wait. There's also that weird 80s thing where he's instantly in love with a woman that he's never met,
Yep.
never talked to.
Just seen her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just solely think she's pretty.
But JC, good friend, saying, you're never going to get anywhere if you don't go talk to her.
Yeah. That is a good friend.
Mm-hmm. I will go ahead and spoil it. JC does not survive the movie, unfortunately.
Bummer.
Yeah. But he is probably, other than Detective Tom Atkins.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have now met Cynthia's quote-unquote boyfriend.
He's like the king of the betas.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, president of the betas.
Yeah.
Gross.
And he is wearing a sweater vest.
I hate him.
He has
He's
just 80s douchebag prep hair.
He has kegs around him. He is wearing 2 different prints. So
2 gold rings. Probably a Rolex.
a fucking pinky ring.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he can touch people who he can't. I hate you.
Yeah. Yep, he's awful.
I hate you so much. And yeah, the 80s dudes that are around him are like wearing suits and stuff, like suits and ties. They are down in what looks like a basement that has a jukebox, has a bar, has a cutout, a female in a sexy pose cutout, Miller High Life neon signs and stuff like that. Like really typical 80s frat house.
I am like 90% certain that the cutout is actually Cynthia Cronenberg in some of the modeling work that she did before she was an actress.
That would be super funny. What a line that is. We don't have to have sex with a farm animal, do we? Like 80s hazing,
So the reason that they're sitting down talking to them, even though they hate the betas, Chris is convinced the only way he can get Cynthia to take him seriously is if he joins a fraternity. So he decides to try to budge the betas. They sit down and talk to him, and they are given a task. You don't know what the task is yet, but Chris says, do we have to have sex with a farm animal?
Yeah.
But then it's revealed that they're given this impossible task, and that even if they are able to pull it off, they're not getting into the fraternity. So it is hazing, like you said. It's bullshit. But then we see Cynthia walk up and kiss Brad.
Of course his name is Brad.
Yep. He has a custom plate.
Disgusting.
And it says Bradster.
Well, I mean, in the 80s, it was all about your status, how much money you had. It was... if you were rich, you were popular. You know what I mean? Like, everyone wanted to put on this facade of we have money. That's when popped collars, name brands, like what kind of car did you have, that kind of thing. So it only makes sense that he had a car, he lived, he was the president of the frat, and of course he had a vanity plate.
Yep.
That's every 80s romantic comedy ever. You know what I mean?
So now, this is actually a familiar face. This
Yes,
is David
he is.
Paymer.
Yeah, I know exactly who he is.
And it's funny to me that he was ever college age, because even at college age, he looks like a fucking old man.
Yes, he does.
But he is down in the basement of some facility at Corman University. And it's funny, as you look around, he's obviously in the basement. It's dirty, but then when you see the door that he's starting to go into, it's a futuristic-looking door with a number pad, and he can't remember the second number of a 2-digit code. So he has to call his roommate and get a notebook. Yeah, it's hysterical. But you look at this basement, and then you look at the door, and then when these doofuses actually open the door, it looks like the spaceship.
Okay.
It's super funny, but not the same spaceship that we saw.
A different one?
Yeah, so...
This door right here?
Yes, and watch.
That
David
pin
Paymer
pad is great.
Couldn't remember the second code.
And it was 0.
Yes. So when they walk into this lab, it looks like what you would expect a 1950s spaceship to look like.
Okay.
And I just think it's an interesting kind of juxtaposition where the 1950s UFO looks like the 1980s, what you would think of, because it looks like Alien.
Yep.
And now the 1980s lab looks like what you think the 1950s UFO would look like.
So, oh my
There's
God.
just lights everywhere.
Yep. This does look so 80s. Oh my God.
And then you have the mummified body of Johnny, the boyfriend from
He's
the
not
opening of the movie.
mummified.
No, I'm sorry.
He's cryogenically
That's
frozen.
right. Thank you. Yeah, doesn't it look like a 1950s spaceship on the inside?
Kind of, sorta.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, it reminds, okay, so looking like that shot right there with JC, that looks very like World War II kind of listening control room.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that looks like a bunker. Like, that looks like a, what did we see? Captain America Winter Soldier when they go down into the, that's very reminiscent.
Yeah. So they just revealed that their plan is they have to put a corpse in the body of one of the rival fraternities. Yeah, which is a kind of morbid and gross thing.
And why is there a cryogenic frozen body in this weird laboratory underneath a frat house?
Well, no, this isn't the frat house. This is
where are they?
on the university.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
So it's a cryogenics lab.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would have that.
Yeah, what college do you go to?
Corman University.
But like, what
they say sci-fi.
Yeah, seriously. But like, what does that university specialize in?
Who fucking knows? But
you have a cryogenically frozen body. How crazy was it that as much time has passed between the 50s and the 80s is exactly how much time has passed between the 90s and now?
Fuck. That's awful.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel really old now. So they are stealing Johnny's body.
Yep.
To finish this prank.
And here comes scientist dude.
David Paymer. Like I said, he just looks old.
Yeah, he does. Like, he's not a college student. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, that door would not remain open if it's a secure door.
Probably not. But also, do you notice what's in the corner? Big old cans of toxic waste.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, right there?
Yeah.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, good old-fashioned biohazard things.
Yep. Yeah, he's not doing really justice on those crutches. He's not believable on those. He's literally just swinging himself back and forth.
No, so the toxic waste in the corner is kind of a throwback to Return of the Living Dead.
Cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
I do like that they have him in some boxer shorts.
Yeah, they wrapped that corpse up nice.
Oh my god. No, stop
it. It came out. It was different.
Yeah, and then it jumped into him.
I forgot.
Come on.
I forgot.
You have one job.
I'm going to fail miserably at that one.
Look at that dorm room.
It is very 80s. There's a fish bowl with no fish, I don't think. Oh, it's over there in the corner.
It is a very spacious but yet very compact 80s dorm room. Like, the stereo's great. I love that. I love that they have a gas lamp. Okay, sure. Why the hell not?
This is a great scene where JC's kind of laying into Chris about how he's always bitching and how he got dumped by his high school girlfriend. He never does anything about it and just whines all the time. And then there's a really great line where he's like, I'm not going to get laid, but you still can, and I'm going to help you. And all you do is fucking bitch about it. And it's a nice little moment where you're like, okay, JC's got more going on than just the attitude and the sense of humor and the sarcasm. And it's a nice tender moment in the middle of a movie that doesn't have a lot of, like, feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is kind of laying into him. Just, he's like, I care about you, dude. Like,
it's hilarious because if you take it seriously, you just get depressed all the time like you are. So fuck you.
Yeah.
It's a great line. I love it.
I love his Vans.
Yeah, they're great.
Love his Vans. I love Vans.
Yeah, I can tell. I don't know that I would ever throw someone my pillow. If that makes sense. Because JC just had a line where he's like, hey, give me that pillow from your bed. No, thank you.
There he is.
Good old Tom Atkins.
There he is. Why would you make that woman do that in heels? That's so terrible.
We open with him on a beach wearing a suit.
Yes.
And a woman in a bikini is handing him a drink and a coconut.
Like, he's in a 3-piece bow tie suit. Come on now.
That might even be a tuxedo now that I think about it. Yeah, I think it's tux.
Yeah, that's a tuxedo.
And rising out of the water is his college girlfriend, Pam.
Yep.
So, very obviously, not real life.
He looks younger in this than he did in Halloween 3. Wait, no, he doesn't.
No.
But what?
I think Tom Atkins is another dude who just has always looked
old.
Distinguishedly old, though.
Yeah.
Like, David Paymer just looks like ancient old. Tom Atkins looks like
Silver Fox old.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, he's good looking right here.
Wakes up in a cold sweat from... So his dream shifted to a nightmare where he saw his ex-girlfriend getting hacked up with the axe because as we're learning in these kind of flashbacks, he's the cop who showed up and shot.
His name is Ray, yeah.
Yes, Ray Cameron. And he has great lines all throughout the movie. Everything he says, he answers the phone, he doesn't say hello, he says,
"Thrill me."
Yeah.
And they say,
"Detective Cameron?" "No, Bozo the Clown."
And everything he says is like that. He is an angry, salty fucking dude the entire movie.
Sure.
Yeah. It's funny to see Tom Atkins like that, because you just think, like, in Halloween 3, he was lighthearted, but he was a doctor, so he was like...
Doctor/investigator.
Yeah. But so he was kind of like cold almost.
Sure.
But then you see him in like The Fog, and he's not cold. He's just, a dude.
Yeah.
In this, he's
a dick.
Angry.
Yeah.
Every time someone says, "Hey, is that Detective Cameron?" And here he said, "No, Big Bullwinkle Moose." And so everything he says is a snappy comeback, and he lays into some of the other cops in this scene.
What is this, a homicide or a bad B movie?
Great line.
Yep.
So self-aware. It's almost like...
It's a little meta before meta was.
Yeah, exactly. Fred Dekker is someone who I wish people still gave jobs to, because after he did this and The Monster Squad, he wrote the script for...
I love The Monster Squad.
Isn't it?
I cannot wait till my nephew is born, and that's gonna be his very first horror movie.
Good call.
Yep.
Officer Raimi.
That's awesome! Love a little Sam Raimi reference.
Yeah. All the names, like I said.
That's so
just
cool.
Tie back to someone. It's very cool.
I love those little Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, it's so clever. It's so much fun. It makes the movie a better experience, because you're like, oh, I know who that is. Now, who would you think you would be in this movie?
Ooh. Man, I don't know. I feel like I might end up being kind of a Detective Cameron character.
Angry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
It feels like me. Because here's the thing. He's funny.
Sure.
He's funny and sarcastic, but it has manifested itself in a mean kind of way because of the things that have happened in his life.
Sure.
So let's pretend that he hadn't seen his girlfriend getting hacked up with an axe and he had to kill that person. Mm-hmm. He may have evolved a different way as a person.
Okay.
Because if he's funny and quick-witted but mean-spirited, he could have been funny but quick-witted in a different way.
Sure.
And I like to think that I'm funny and quick-witted. I don't know that everyone agrees.
I think you're funny.
Oh, thank you. See, Bradster. You missed the license plate. But yeah.
Of course, it's a red top-down.
Yep, convertible.
Yep.
Red convertible. Detective Cameron has all the best lines in this movie. Thrill Me is probably the classic line. It's actually what he signs most of his Night of the Creeps stuff with. Yeah.
That's cool.
At one point, he shoots a zombie, and he says, "I already killed you once, you son of a bitch." That's what I got him to sign mine with. And he was like, "That's so long." And I was like, "I know." He's like, "I'm going to abbreviate SOB."
God, I love the feathered hair.
Yeah. And now, one of the sorority sisters is keeping brains from their biology class in the basement of the sorority house. Corman University is a wild, wild fucking place.
Yeah, throwing body parts around. And so even after the slug has left them, they're zombies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the slug turns them into zombies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's not so much as it just kills them from the inside, pretty much. It, like, infects them from the inside. Mm-hmm. Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Also
breeds while it's on the inside, so
shut up, stop
they typically don't spit out just one.
I hate you so much.
Thank you.
Like I said, I had been watching The Twilight Zone, as I always do, and
yes.
I was going back and forth between the new one and the old one, and there's a episode in season 2 of the new one that I thought was going to be the scariest episode I'd ever seen. It ended up being, I was really annoyed with it. I have a thing about tentacles.
Right.
And things going inside of people.
And ooze.
And ooze, yeah. I don't like goo, which I think tentacles tend to be slippery and slimy, and I just don't like that. And then there's a lot of them, and they move very quickly. They can do a lot of damage, and they suck onto you, and I just cannot stand that. That is very scary to me. So octopus is horrific to me. I'm so fascinated with them. I have several books on octopus.
Yeah.
I have an octopus in formaldehyde. I have an octopus tentacle on a mount. Like, I am so horrified by them, but because of that, I'm fascinated by them. And so there is an episode about an octopus in season 2 and at first starts out being one of the scariest things I